Here's a segment from the latest edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a monthly local talk show.
The mission of the St. Charles Parish Department of Waterworks is to efficiently provide a sufficient supply of potable water and water for fire protection for our residents. This mission was put to the ultimate test when the parish suffered a hard freeze for multiple days in January. While the parish did ask residents to conserve water during the freeze, St. Charles Parish remained one of the only parishes in the region to avoid issuing a boil water advisory and dangerously low water pressure. But if you caught my interview with WWL, it probably left you with more questions than answers. Here with me today to clear it all up is Waterworks Director Robbie Brew. Thanks for coming on the show, Robbie.
Not a problem, Tristan. Anytime.
Let's get into the freeze event. What was it about this particular weather event that seemed to threaten water systems across South Louisiana?
The main issue with an event such as this is that when we're trying to produce water and the customers are using more than we can produce, the limiting factor for a water system is the amount of water it can produce, the amount it can pump out into the system, and the amount it has in storage. When those limiting factors are exceeded by the customer's demand, either through normal usage, through flushing water pipes to prevent freezing, or through leaks, a system is in danger of dropping below minimum pressures and not being able to keep up that demand, which happened to a lot of our neighbors.
One of the reasons we asked residents to conserve water during this event was to avoid issuing a boil advisory and to avoid and low pressure. I didn't do the greatest job of explaining this on the news, so I brought you here today. What does that mean? What really are we telling them?
EPA and the Department of Health require us to maintain a minimum pressure in our distribution lines. All water pipes have leaks in them. All water systems leak. By maintaining that minimum pressure or greater, those leaks are leaking out of the pipe. The fear is, or the concern would be, when you drop below the minimum pressure, the leaks leak into the pipe, and then you have a potential for bacteriological contamination. That is what results in a boil order advisory or a boil advisory. A boil order notice is if you have confirmation that you have contamination in the system. A boil order advisory is really just that, an advisory to tell you there's a potential for it because they failed to maintain that minimum pressure and fear that something could have gotten in the system. At that point, you take samples to confirm either that it's not there or that it is. And then if it is, they'd go up to the boil order notice, which is much more serious. It's going to require a lot more to get back.
And there's also the idea that if there's not enough pressure, water is not even going to get to some areas.
Correct. Yes, and a lot of our neighbors experience just that you don't have enough pressure to even flush toilets. Yep. Or for showers.
Just essential
firefighting is greatly impacted when you have those low water pressure systems.
And as a parish, we've always advocated to protect your pipes. That being insulating your pipes, protecting, that's the main way to fight a freezing pipe or a busted pipe. But of course, people do let their water run, and that's something that we've usually indicated would be a last resort. Can you kind of go into what would you recommend, I should say?
The best way to protect your water pipes is to insulate them, block the wind, protect them, or drain them. Turn it off and empty the waters. If you're not home, that's the ideal situation. Or if you have a major leak that you can't get. But if everybody insists on running water to protect their pipes, there is a very real danger that you're going to experience what all of our neighbors experience, which is low pressure. Firefighting will not be there. You won't be able to drink the water. You won't have water for your basic usage. If you plan ahead, because I think there's another Arctic blast coming our way in the very near future, plan ahead, do it now. Fix any known leaks, get out there and insulate your pipes. We take care of our water system. We go and fix all the leaks we can find so that we can get the water to every one of our customers, the last customer on the end of the line. But if they're not taking care of their own business, we're still going to fail. During the course of this event, all of the problems we experienced were really customer related. They were customers' water meters leaking. We found 2 distribution lines that were leaking on Wednesday night. Both were repaired. After the event, we ended up fixing 2 more leaks on Friday, most probably related to the event as well. But that's very minimal. As bad as it got in the heat of the event, especially Wednesday night, with us pumping down our tanks, we were 1-2 major distribution leaks away from being just like all of our neighbors, having boil orders and low pressure issues.
So in emergencies, one of my duties is to man the Facebook page, me and my staff. And of course we get a lot of different questions on there. And one resident asked this question, and I know the answer to it, but I'm gonna ask it to you because I think it's a really good question. Do you guys keep a supply of water for emergencies where we could go a few days?
Yes, we do. We have a day supply of water, or in excess of a day supply of water on each side of the river. Last year, we averaged just over 4 million gallons a day of customer demand. We have in excess of 5 million on each side of the river.
Right. Okay.
We have a water tower in Taft that's 500,000, so we've got 5.5 million on the West Bank, and we have 5.1 million on the East Bank. That is what got us through. We were producing more water than we could. We were pushing out more water to our customers than we could treat and produce, and we were supplementing it through our tanks.
Reserves.
And everything was good until the tanks continued to drop all Tuesday night, all day Wednesday, until we finally put out the the request for our citizens to conserve water as best they could. Thankfully, that message was heeded.
Absolutely.
And by Wednesday afternoon, we were producing more water than we were putting out. So it got us in a comfortable spot to get through Thursday. If we had continued for much longer, it would have been very
a dire
challenging.
situation.
Yes. It would have been challenging.
Yeah.
Not that this wasn't.
Right. So moving on from the freeze to happier topics. You guys win, it seems like almost every year, best tasting water either in the region or in the state level. But it's more than just somebody drinking a glass of water from St. Charles Parish and saying it tastes good. What does it really mean to win that award?
First off, anyone who competes has to be in full compliance with all applicable drinking water regulations, meaning any regulations from the EPA or the Department of Health, we have to be in full compliance or we can't compete. After that, it is about the taste of the water. It's the mineral content of the water, minimizing chemicals to only what you need to really treat the water. Nobody really wants anything that tastes chemically enhanced.
Right.
You want a pleasant tasting water, and we have done very well. We've competed twice at the national level. It's actually all of North America because it includes Canada, Mexico, and all of the continental United States, as well as Hawaii.
So you guys will be competing again in March for that one?
At the local level.
Okay,
That
so
will be
we'll
the
be on the
first
lookout.
step again, yes.
We'll be on the lookout to take home the number one. I think it's pretty obvious that continuous improvement and an investment in infrastructure has been probably a key to Waterworks' success. What things can we look forward to in 2018 with you guys?
We have a few more projects in the plant to redo some filters. We're wrapping up currently a clarifier modification or refurbishment.
And we'll get to that one later.
Yep, we're refurbishing the clarifier. We do still have about 14 miles of cast iron. Cast iron was the first pipe material that we used. Both sides of the river started in 1950, and for the first about 10 years, that's all they used was cast iron. We are systematically taking it out. We do not have any more left on the East Bank. Again, we still have a few miles of it on the West Bank, and that will continue in the coming years, taking that out. But we're in a good spot. We've done a lot of reinvestment in the system over the years, and we're able to minimize any major upsets because of that. So.
Absolutely. Well, look, I just want to thank you and your staff. You guys worked extremely hard in the freeze, and like we said, we remained one of the only parishes to not have to do a boil advisory or anything like that. So thank you for that, and thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you, and definitely the thanks goes to my employees. They worked hard, especially the distribution crews and plant personnel. It was a very challenging week that we just experienced. So, thank you.
Thanks, Robbie.
Look for the entire episode at www.scptoday.com or on SCP TV.